If you grew up in rural areas of the United States in the 1970s, you may have developed a very particular way of dealing with the world, a way that doesn't draw attention, that doesn't seek validation, that simply gets things done. And this way may carry emotional superpowers that you were never taught to value. This video is not a diagnosis. It's simply an invitation for you to observe certain patterns in your own body, in your way of reacting, in the way your hands move when faced with a problem. Perhaps you will recognize something in yourself. Perhaps you will realize that certain things you do automatically are not flaws, but silent forms of strength. Let's explore 10 aspects of this behavior. Each one can reveal a hidden superpower in your personality. Pay attention to how your body reacts while you listen. Sometimes recognition comes before the words. If any part of this behavior seems familiar to you, share it in the comments. This is a quiet space to recognize yourself and better understand your own superpowers. The way your hands fix things without needing to ask for help or look for a tutorial. Perhaps you've noticed that when something breaks in your house, your first impulse isn't to grab your phone. Your hands go straight to the broken object, touching it, turning it over, testing it, as if your body already knows the answer is right there, not on the internet, not on someone's phone. This may have started early, when there weren't many options besides trying. When the fence fell, when the door jammed, when the tractor stopped, their hands learned that waiting for help took too long and that trying alone was faster and safer. Today, this attitude might seem like stubbornness to those observing you from the outside. But for you, it's simply the natural path. Your hands trust themselves before trusting any external promise. And that's not distrust, it's silent autonomy. This pattern appears in small, everyday situations. When the computer freezes, you're already pressing buttons before you even think about calling support. When something falls and breaks, you're already mentally putting the pieces back together, imagining how to glue it back on, how to fit it back in. It's not that you don't accept help. It's that your body has been trained not to depend on it to begin with. You solve problems first, ask questions later, and often, when someone comes to help, you've already finished. Your hands haven't waited for permission. This can cause misunderstandings. People might think you don't want company, that you're closed off, that you reject support. But the truth is, your body has learned to be self-sufficient. And that, when well understood, is a rare superpower, the ability not to panic when you're alone facing a problem. The hidden superpower here isn't being antisocial. It's having developed a deep confidence in your own ability to try. You don't fear making mistakes because you know that making mistakes is part of discovering how things work. While many people freeze in the face of the unknown, waiting for instructions, validation, or guarantees, you simply begin. Your hands test, your eyes observe, your body learns through touch. You don't need applause. You don't need witnesses. And this way of being, although it may seem lonely to those who don't understand, is actually a form of freedom. You carry within you the certainty that there will always be a way, even if no one shows you. Even if no one believes in you, your hands already know it. How does your body feel comfortable in long silences without needing to fill the void? Perhaps you've noticed that you can remain silent for a long time without feeling uncomfortable. It's not that you have nothing to say. It's that your body has learned that silence isn't emptiness. It's simply silence. And silence doesn't need fixing. This may have stemmed from those long periods of solitude as a child, hours spent caring for animals, walking through open fields, fixing something in the barn. No one talked all the time. The world functioned at its own pace without the need for constant narration. Today, when you're with other people and silence falls, you don't feel that urge to fill it. While others start to get restless, searching for something to talk about, you simply breathe. Your body knows how to wait. It knows that not everything needs immediate words. This pattern can create distance without you realizing it in meetings, social gatherings, casual conversations. People interpret your silence as disinterest, coldness, or even disapproval, but you're simply comfortable there, present, without the need to prove you're participating. For you, talking too much might seem unnecessary. You observe, listen, process, and you only speak when you feel you have something truly worth saying. It's not about being cold and economical with words. It's about respecting the weight each sentence can carry. This approach might make you seem distant or difficult to get to know, but in reality, you are completely present. You just don't feel obligated to perform presence through constant noise. Your body has learned that being together doesn't require filling every second with sound. The hidden superpower here is the ability to be with yourself without anxiety. While many people experience internal collapse when left alone with their own thoughts, you simply inhabit that space. You don't need constant distraction. You don't need external validation to feel real. You have developed a deep intimacy with silence itself, and this gives you a rare advantage: the ability to think clearly, to observe without haste, to make decisions without the interference of external voices trying to speed up your process. While the world around you accelerates, shouts, fills every pause with stimulation, you remain grounded. Your body knows the value of emptiness, and it knows that sometimes the best answers appear precisely when you stop looking for them in the noise. This is a kind of peace that cannot be taught. It can only be lived. The automatic way you solve problems on your own before even thinking about calling someone. Perhaps you've noticed that when something goes wrong, your first instinct isn't to pick up the phone. You look at the problem, take a deep breath, and start thinking about solutions, as if asking for help were the last resort, not the first. This may have started when help simply wasn't readily available, when the nearest neighbor lived miles away, when calling someone meant waiting hours, maybe days. Your body learned that relying on itself was more reliable than waiting for rescue. Today, even with the phone in your hand, you hesitate before dialing, not out of pride, but because your body has been trained to believe that you can figure it out on your own. And most of the time, you can. Your hands are already testing possibilities, while other people are still explaining the problem to someone else. This pattern appears in times of crisis, both small and large. When your car breaks down in the middle of the road, you're already opening the hood before even thinking about calling a tow truck. When something breaks at home, you're already improvising a temporary fix before looking for a professional. It's not that you despise outside help. It's that your body has learned not to depend on it to start acting. You solve the problem first, then notify others. And often, when you finally decide to ask for help, the problem is already at least partially solved. This can make the people around you feel that you don't trust them, that you're too closed off, too self-sufficient, too distant. But the truth is, you simply don't want to be a burden. You were taught, without words, that taking care of yourself is an act of respect for others. If you've noticed this way of reacting in yourself or someone close to you, right? This sounds like me. This helps this video reach more people who think and feel similarly. The hidden superpower here is the ability to remain calm under pressure. While many people panic, when something gets out of control, you go into solution mode. Your body doesn't freeze. It acts. You've developed a quiet, resilience that doesn't need an audience. You don't need witnesses to validate your effort. You simply do what needs to be done and move on. No drama, no need to tell everyone how hard it was. And this way of being, although it may seem lonely, is actually a profound form of strength. You carry within you the certainty that, even when everything fails, you still have yourself. And that, in a world where so many people feel completely lost without external approval, is a rare kind of inner freedom. The natural way your hands know how to improvise solutions with what you have nearby. Perhaps you've noticed that when you're missing a tool, you don't stop what you're doing. You look around, grab what's available, and make it work. As if your body knows that the perfect solution rarely exists, but the possible solution is always there. This may have stemmed from those times when the nearest shop was too far away to fetch a part. When waiting for the right tool meant losing an entire day's work, their hands learned to adapt, to transform, to make one object serve 3 different functions. Today, you still carry that same attitude. When you need something specific and don't have it, you improvise without a second thought. A wire becomes a hook. A piece of wood becomes a wedge. A piece of rope solves what expensive equipment would solve. Your hands don't wait for the ideal. They work with what's real. This pattern appears in small moments of everyday life. When something breaks and you use tape, a staple, a rubber band, anything that will hold it together long enough. When you need to reach something high and you stack boxes instead of looking for a ladder. When you're missing a utensil in the kitchen and you use a completely different one. It's not a makeshift solution due to lack of options. It's silent creativity. Your body has learned that resources are limited, but the capacity for adaptation is not. You don't get stuck on how things should be done. You do it the way it can be done now. This might lead others to think you're sloppy, that you don't value quality, that you do everything more or less. But the truth is, you simply don't let imperfection paralyze you. You act, you solve problems, you move on, and you fix things better later, if necessary. The hidden superpower here is mental flexibility in the face of scarcity. While many people become frustrated when they don't have exactly what they need, you enter creative mode. Your brain doesn't freeze, it expands. You have developed a rare ability to see possibilities where others see only lack. An object is never just a thing to you, it's potential. It's a tool waiting to be used. Your hands know how to transform the ordinary into a solution. And this way of being gives you a huge advantage in emergency situations, in improvisation, in survival situations. Don't depend on ideal conditions to function. You function despite the conditions. And that, in a world that often demands perfection before allowing an attempt, is a silent kind of practical genius. How do you observe and learn through the body instead of asking aloud? Perhaps you've already noticed that when you need to learn something new, you don't ask many questions. You observe. You stand there, quietly, watching how the other person does it. And then you try it yourself, as if your body trusts what it sees more than what it hears. This may have come from those times when learning meant watching someone work. No one stopped to give a lecture. You saw your father fixing the engine, you saw your mother tending the garden, and you simply absorbed it all through your gaze. Your body learned that paying attention teaches more than asking questions. Today, you still carry that trait. When someone shows you how to do something, you don't interrupt asking for detailed explanations. You simply watch with complete attention. Your eyes capture every movement. Your hands mentally perform the gesture. And then, when you're alone, you practice until you get it right. This pattern appears in new everyday situations. When you start a new job, you don't ask many questions. You observe how others do things and replicate them. When someone teaches you a recipe, you don't write it down. You just pay attention and trust that your body will remember. It's not that you're afraid to ask. It's that your body has learned that asking too many questions can be annoying, can seem incompetent, and can take up the time of someone who is busy. So you learn on your own, at your own pace, without burdening anyone else's life. This might make it take you longer to master certain things. It might cause you to make mistakes that a simple question would have prevented. But it also gives you an advantage. You learn in a deep, visceral way because you went through the entire process on your own. Nobody handed it to you ready-made. The hidden superpower here is the ability to learn through bodily imitation. While many people need detailed verbal instructions, manuals, step-by-step tutorials, you learn through movement, rhythm, and silent observation. You have developed kinesthetic intelligence that doesn't depend on external explanations. Your job's patterns, replica gesture, and doing. And this makes you independent of teachers, approval, and constant validation during learning. And this way of being, although it may seem slow or stubborn to an outside observer, is actually a profound form of intellectual autonomy. You don't need someone to translate the world into words for you. Your body already knows how to read the world through gestures, movements, and the silence between one action and another. The physical comfort you feel working with your hands at your own pace and without rushing. Perhaps you've already noticed that when you're doing something with your hands, your body relaxes. It doesn't matter if it's fixing, building, cooking, or just tidying something up. Your hands in motion bring a calmness that words can't offer. This may have come from those times when manual labor wasn't just a task. It was nameless meditation. Hours spent planting, harvesting, organizing, repairing. There was no external rush, just the natural rhythm of things. Your body learned that working slowly isn't wasting time, it's respecting time. Today, you still carry that same approach. When you start a manual project, you don't rush to finish it quickly. You work at your own pace, paying full attention to every detail, pace against the clock. They converse with the task with themselves. This pattern appears when you're under pressure to go faster. At work, at home, anywhere, someone expects immediate results. You even try to speed up, but your body resists, as if it knows that haste spoils, that quality needs time. It's not slowness out of laziness, it's pace out of respect. You were taught, without words, that doing something well is worth more than doing it quickly, that finishing something carefully brings more satisfaction than finishing something hastily just to say you're done. This might make you seem outdated, too slow, disconnected from the modern world. But the truth is that your body knows a type of efficiency that isn't measured in speed. It's measured in quality, durability, and well-being during the process. The hidden superpower here is the ability to remain centered in a fast-paced world. While many people live in constant anxiety, rushing from one thing to another without ever feeling complete, you find peace in doing. You have developed a form of presence that many seek through meditation, therapy, spiritual retreats. But you access this naturally when your hands are busy. You don't need technique. You don't need a guru. Your hands already know the way back to the center. And this way of being, although it may seem out of place in a culture obsessed with productivity and speed, is actually a rare form of sanity. You haven't lost touch with the human rhythm. You haven't accelerated beyond what your body can keep up with without breaking down. And that protects you from a type of exhaustion that many carry without even realizing it. The way your body patiently waits for results, without anxiety for quick answers. Perhaps you've noticed that when you plant something, literally or metaphorically, you don't check on it every day to see if it's grown. You simply wait, as if your body knows that forcing things doesn't make them happen faster. It only spoils them. This may have stemmed from those times when you saw the seasons change at their own pace. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. Nothing could be rushed. The harvest came when it was ready, not when you wanted it. Your body learned that nature has its own timing, and resisting it is futile. Today, you still carry that same attitude. When you start a project, a relationship, any process, you're not anxious for immediate results. You plant, nurture when necessary, and wait. Your hands know that growth happens in silence, far from prying eyes. This pattern appears when other people around you are desperate for answers. At work, in your personal life, in any situation where there is uncertainty, while everyone is checking statuses, asking for updates, demanding progress, you just keep doing your part and trust in time. It's not a lack of interest in the outcome. It's a deep understanding that anxiety doesn't speed anything up. You've been taught, without words, that some things simply need time to mature, that forcing a harvest before its time brings bitter fruit. This can lead you to be seen as detached, uninterested, or even irresponsible. People mistake your calmness for a lack of urgency. But the truth is, you simply don't confuse urgency with importance. You know that not everything that screams for attention needs immediate attention. The hidden superpower here is the ability to trust the process without obsessive control. While many people are constantly checking, measuring, and verifying every little progress, you can let go. Do your part and let the rest happen. You have developed a patience that is not passivity. It is wisdom. You know that interfering too much with things before the right time can break what is still forming. So you act when it is time to act, and you rest when it is time to wait. And this way of being, although it may seem slow or careless in a culture that demands instant results, is actually a profound form of emotional maturity. You don't need immediate gratification to keep going. You trust that time will reveal what needs to be revealed, and this protects you from the chronic anxiety that consumes so many lives around us. How can you trust what your own hands test more than what other people guarantee? Perhaps you've noticed that when someone tells you something works a certain way, you don't fully accept it until you try it yourself. It's not personal distrust. It's that your body has learned to trust its own experience more than external promises. This may have come from those times when words were cheap, but results were everything. When someone said a fence would hold up and it fell in the first storm. When they promised a tool was good and it broke on the first use. Your body learned that only testing reveals the truth. Today, you still carry that mindset. When someone assures you that a method works, you listen politely, but deep down you're already planning to test it yourself. Your hands need to feel, your eyes need to see, your body needs to confirm before you fully believe. This pattern appears in decisions both big and small. When you buy something new, you don't just rely on online reviews. You test it, try it out, observe it. When someone gives you advice, you don't blindly follow it. You experiment, see if it makes sense for your body, for your reality. It's not stubbornness, it's prudence. You've been taught, without words, that every person, every situation, every context is different. What works for one person may not work for you. So you need to figure out for yourself what is true in your specific case. This can make you seem distrustful, difficult to convince, and resistant to change. People may feel offended when you don't immediately accept what they say. But the truth is, You simply don't outsource your own experience. You need to feel it firsthand to know if something is real. If this explanation has made things clearer about your personality, please comment. Now I understand better. Your participation strengthens this self-awareness community. The hidden superpower here is the ability to think for yourself in a world full of preconceived opinions. While many people believe anything said with enough confidence, you maintain your own center of validation. You've developed a healthy skepticism that isn't cynicism. It's discernment. You know that not all information is useful to you, that not every truth held by others is your truth. So you test, verify, and confirm with your own hands before incorporating something as real. And this way of being, although it may seem distrustful or closed off, is actually a profound form of personal integrity. You are not easily convinced because you value your own experience too much to replace it with pretty words. And this protects you from manipulation, from fads, from following paths that are not yours just because someone said they should be. The quiet way your mind resolves crises without dramatizing or seeking external validation. Perhaps you've noticed that when something really difficult happens, you stay quiet. You don't go around telling everyone. You don't post about it. You don't look for a shoulder to cry on. You just take a deep breath and start to solve it silently, without witnesses. This may have stemmed from those times when crises were part of the routine, when the storm destroyed the crops, when the animal died, when the harvest failed. There was no time for drama. There was only what needed to be done the next day. Your body learned that lamenting doesn't solve anything. Action does. Today, you still carry that same attitude. When faced with a loss, a financial problem, a deep disappointment, you don't make a spectacle of it. You keep it to yourself, process it alone, and act within your own capabilities. Your hands work while your mouth remains closed. This pattern appears when the people around you expect you to share your pain. In moments of grief, crisis, or drastic change, they offer support, want to talk, try to get you to speak, but you just politely thank them and continue dealing with it alone. It's not that you don't feel it. You feel it deeply, but you've been taught, without words, that exposing vulnerability is risky, that showing weakness can be used against you, that crying in front of others doesn't bring relief. It only brings embarrassment to everyone involved. This can make you seem cold, insensitive, emotionally disconnected. People mistake your silence for a lack of feeling. But the truth is, you simply chose to process your pain privately. You don't need an audience to validate that what you feel is real. The hidden superpower here is the ability to maintain functionality during collapse. While many people stop everything when something bad happens, you keep going, not out of insensitivity, but for survival. You know that life doesn't pause just because you're suffering. You've developed a quiet resilience that asks for no credit. You weather storms without announcing you're in the middle of them. And when you finally emerge on the other side, no one even noticed the weight you carried alone, because you didn't turn your struggle into a public narrative. And this way of being, although it may seem lonely or even unhealthy to those who believe that all pain needs to be verbalized, is actually a legitimate form of emotional protection. You don't owe anyone an explanation of your process, and knowing how to navigate the darkness alone without needing spotlights is a rare kind of strength that few understand. The inner security of knowing that your body always finds a way, even on its own. Perhaps you've already noticed that even in the worst situations, you never completely despaired. There was always a calm voice deep inside saying, "You'll figure it out," and you always did. Not because you had guarantees, but because your body simply knows how to find a way. This may have stemmed from those times when there was no external plan B when something went wrong. You had to improvise, adapt, and keep going. There was no insurance, no support, no one to call. Your body learned that the only truly reliable resource was yourself. Today, you still carry that same attitude. When everything seems to be falling apart, when there's no obvious solution, when others panic, you remain strangely calm. It's not blind optimism, it's a deep confidence that somehow you will survive, because you always have. This pattern appears in moments of total uncertainty. When you lose your job, when a relationship ends, when life changes direction without warning, while others ask what now, you are already mentally mapping out possibilities. Your body doesn't freeze. It recalculates the route. It's not that you don't feel fear. You do, but fear doesn't paralyze you. It activates you. You've been taught, without words, that collapsing isn't an option, that you need to keep standing, keep functioning, keep finding solutions because nobody will do it for you. This can make you seem emotionally distant at the worst times. People don't understand how you manage to be so functional during crises. They think you're not taking it seriously, that you're in denial, that you'll break down later. But the truth is, you've just developed a different kind of courage. The quiet courage to keep going. The hidden superpower here is unwavering self-confidence in extreme situations. While many people rely on external reassurances to feel safe, you carry your own security within yourself. You know you've been through tough times before, and you've always found a way. You have developed a pragmatic faith in yourself that doesn't need prior evidence. You don't need to see the whole path to take the first step. Your hands simply begin to move, your feet simply begin to walk, and the path reveals itself as you go forward. And this way of being, although it may seem lonely or even frightening to those who have never trusted themselves so much, is actually a profound form of existential freedom. You don't need approval to act. You don't need guarantees to try. You carry within you the certainty that, whatever happens, you will manage. And that, in a world full of uncertainties, is the rarest kind of inner peace. If you recognized some of these patterns in yourself, perhaps you now better understand why certain things seem natural to you and strange to others. These behaviors are not flaws. They are silent forms of strength that you have developed throughout your life, often without realizing it. Growing up in rural areas in the 1970s shaped not just habits, but a profound way of being in the world. A way values autonomy, patient observation, quiet resilience. And although the world has changed drastically since then, these qualities remain rare and valuable superpowers. Perhaps you've spent years thinking you were just different, out of place, or even problematic. But the truth is, you carry within you a practical wisdom that many people have lost. The ability to trust your own hands, to wait without anxiety, to solve problems without drama, to keep going without an audience. Have you ever noticed this type of behavior in yourself or someone you care about? Share your experience in the comments. Sometimes, just reading similar stories makes us feel much less alone. If you enjoy content that reveals the hidden superpowers in your personality, subscribe to the channel. Here, we look at common daily habits with a calmer, deeper, and more human perspective.